Welcome back to Team Fast Eddy and HPI Baja Tutorials.com. Today we're going to address page number 37 in your HPI Baja SS manual. And that's going to consist of installing the rear bracing system onto the rear bulkhead, as well as the top rear plate and the start on the brake assembly as well. So let's go ahead and grab a few parts here out of your bag of aluminum parts, which is your aluminum parts bag. We're going to go ahead and grab the rear upper plate and then file the bag away. There should still be two pieces. We're also going to go ahead and finish using up your parts in part G, which at this point will consist of two brake discs and an orange spacer. There's also one sway bar left, and let's go ahead and file this away in your spare parts bag so that you have it later on when you need it. And the rest of the nuts and bolts and whatnot should still be in your parts tray. Alright, at this point let's go ahead and assemble the rear hinge pins capturing brace. And you'll notice that there are two holes here, one on either side. That's where the hinge pins slide in. And then these two tabs are going to go into the two open tabs on the bulkhead. One of the little tricks with this piece you have to watch out for is a lot of times these nuts aren't really in there that tight, and when you install it, those nuts have to go down. So go ahead and if you want to put your fingers on those nuts so that they don't fall out, just like so. And it is kind of tricky sometimes to hold them in. So what we want to do is slide those two little tabs in to the bulkhead, and to not lose the nuts as we're doing it, and it goes in just like so. Give you a little close-up. It's one of those parts where it's either going to go right in for you or you're going to have to play with it. And again, I find a lot of times that as I'm doing this that those nuts are going to want to fall out. You can put a little bit of grease up in there to hold the nuts before you put them in if you would like, and sometimes that does help if you are having trouble with it. And you do have to give it a little bit of muscle and push in on it. This is what it should look like when you're done. This piece can be put on upside down, and you don't want to do that. So as you're looking at it, you want to make sure that it does go up like so. It's not that difficult. Okay, at this point what we're going to do is going to go ahead and insert our L brackets. There is no left or right, they're universal. And to do that we're going to need to get two of the self-tapping screws that go into plastic. And we're going to need our wrench for those. Go ahead and put one of them on our wrench. And if you look on the bottom side here, they fit up inside these two little holes. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there like so. And it does align up on the bottom to the hole in the chassis, as you can see right here. I'm going to go ahead and insert both of them and use the self-tapping screw from the top. Go ahead and screw that in. Don't over tighten them because they are plastic and you don't want to strip them out. So just put them in until they're tight, snug. And you can adjust them around a little bit until the holes line up on the bottom of the chassis properly. I'm going to go ahead and grab my second screw and repeat the process. And again, don't over tighten them because it will strip out. Just want to make them snug and line up. Let's go ahead and grab the two of the shortest flatheads or beveled screws, and these are going to go into the bottom of the chassis to hold the two uprights that we just put on. Very simply going to slide in and we'll tighten them up. Okay. At this point, what we're going to do is turn our chassis back over. We're going to grab our top plate. This is our rear top plate. And as you're looking at the chassis, you're going to see that there are beveled holes, or I'm sorry, bevels in the holes. And you need to make sure that that part of the chassis goes up and the part with no bevels in it goes down. It's going to lay with this open groove portion here over the brake hex as you put it in, and it should just slide down inside. There's a couple little nubs here that it needs to slide over that will help you keep it aligned, one here and one here. And you do have to slip these two tongs underneath the braces to get it to go in, so just put it in and slide it on. And there are 3 bolts in here. Again, they are the flathead or the beveled, and we're going to go ahead and put these on. We're going to put in got a little bit of an alignment problem here as we're taking a look at it, and it's not that bad, and it's just from the pieces not being bolted up before this, so they haven't had a chance to settle in. So you can go ahead and manipulate these with your thumbs, and enough to get the screws to go in. Should just be able to get them in a turn or two. I'm going to do that on the 2 rears. I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down. You should feel them grab the bolt under there. Make sure they're nice and snug. Then we're going to go ahead and install the 3rd one on the back side of the brace. Just like so. Just taking a look, making sure everything's aligned up properly. At this point, we're going to go ahead and grab our brake disc, a spacer, and our second disc, and that's how they go on, with the spacer in between the 2 discs. We're going to reach down in here, and they should slide on just by being able to tilt it. If you're having trouble, you can go ahead and loosen the top plate and lift it up a bit to get them in, but you shouldn't have to do that. Again, what I do is just slide it over the rod here and then slip it on, and you do have to turn it until it aligns with the hex and goes on. And we're going to go ahead and repeat this with the spacer. And that should go on just like so. And then repeat it again. The 3rd disc, or the second one's usually harder. There we go. That one's going to go on just like so. And be careful, because as you are picking this up and moving it around, it is possible for these to slide off. So just keep that in mind. If you want to, you can use a piece of Scotch tape to hold them on, or you can do what I sometimes do and just take an old piece from a parts tree, and you can go ahead and, if you can, just kind of jam it in there, and then that way they don't go anywhere. So that's another way you can do it. But just be careful and make sure that those don't slide out like that. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for page number 37 in the tutorial. And the next tutorial will come back, and that's going to address page number 38, where we're going to go ahead and bolt the 2 chassis parts together.